it's important that we remember there are various forms of worship in Islam. Like, recall the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in the masjid one day, who woke up fasting? Abu Bakr raised his hand. Who gave charity today? Abu Bakr raised his hand. Who visited a sick person? Abu Bakr raised his hand. And who helped his brother? Abu Bakr. I'm just paraphrasing the hadith, kama qala sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Then the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, whoever wants to look at a man from Jannah, then look at this man. So the Muslim should be remember that there are different forms of worship. Try to sit down and think, what forms of worship can I perform with my children as a family? So the first, encouraging and reminding one another to strive harder. So you start Ramadan with an encouragement. The family, the husband, the wife, or the wife with or the mother and the children, or the father and the children, you know, this is Ramadan. We want to do our best. We want to do our best. We want to strive hard. Maybe listen to a good khutbah that encourages your children and your family to strive hard in the month of Ramadan. So you encourage one another. 2, attending the prayer together as a family. Like I said, whether it's father and mother and the kids, or whether it's the father with just the kids, or the mother and the kids, take your kids to the masjid. Take them to the masjid. Get them into the habit of going to the masjid. Let them know we're going to go to the masjid. And when we leave to go to the masjid, every step we take, Allah is removing a sin and replacing it with a good deed. And when we enter the masjid, we say the dua, Allahumma iftah li abwab rahmatik. Oh Allah, open the doors of mercy. And when we enter the masjid, the angels are supplicating for us. As long as we stay in that masjid, as long as we don't harm anyone, the angels are supplicating for us. So let your children love the masjid. Take them to the masjid. But my dear brothers and sisters, do not make the mistake of bringing your children to the masjid during Ramadan and leaving them at the back row playing on their phones, chatting with other Muslim kids, disturbing the worshippers. You have to avoid doing that. Bring your children to the masjid and keep them next to you. Keep them next to you, on the left, on the right. Let them pray. Let them pray. When they get tired, if they're young and they get tired, say, no, sit down for this rak'ah. Sit down for this rak'ah. Okay, the next rak'ah, okay, you ready? Bismillah, stand up. So you do this, you encourage them. You don't make it difficult upon them, but bring them with you. Bring them with you. There's something we want to mention here connected to reading the Quran. And we mentioned it in a lecture recently in Masjid Rahmah here in New Jersey, where we said one of the things that we encourage is when you're going for Taraweeh, if you could read the few pages that the Imam is going to recite before you get to the masjid. Because especially if your children are teens and the likes, this would help them focus in the prayer if they don't understand Arabic. So you can ask the Imam, what pages are you going to read from tomorrow? He will inform you. And then you go home and you read those pages. So when you come the next day for Taraweeh, you remember, oh yeah, he said this, and this surah is about this, and this surah is about that. It helps you focus in the prayer. But the point is, going to the masjid together as a family. Too many parents leave their children at home. They don't want to come. They find it boring and the likes. My dear brothers and sisters, bring your children to the masjid. Bring your children to the masjid. Let them enjoy it. Let them meet other Muslim kids. Let them enjoy being in the house of Allah. Look at that. The angels are supplicating for your kids. Oh Allah, have mercy upon them. Oh Allah, forgive them. As long as your child is in the masjid. So why are you leaving your child at home? Why are you leaving your child at home? You may say, oh, because they have homework. My dear brothers and sisters, it's only 1 month. It's only 1 month. Let them get it in. Let them focus on the worship. Inshallah, they're going to do their homework. Inshallah, they're going to do their homework. But what's more important, their homework or to pray with the believers? Waking each other up for prayer. Yes. As we mentioned, the hadith of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, that especially in the last 10 nights, the Prophet ﷺ used to wake his family up for prayer. So don't let your family sleep all day or sleep all night. Let them get up for prayer. Of course, they have to get some sleep. No doubt. They have to get some sleep. But wake them up for prayer. Gathering charity and donating to the poor. Donating it to the poor and needy. Yes. Let your family understand the importance of giving. Giving to the poor. As Allah says, لا تؤمنوا حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون. as Allah Azza wa Jalla says, لا تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون. You will not establish piety until you spend from that which you love. So in the month of Ramadan, say to your children, we're going to do something to get close to Allah. Bismillah. They're going to say what? Say, go into your closet. All of the clothing that you no longer wear or is too small for you, let's gather it and let's take it to a charity bin. Let's take it to the masjid. Let's send it to Somalia. Let's send it to Afghanistan. Come on, Bismillah, let's do it. And the children go into their wardrobe and they take the stuff they don't wear and the likes. And you should do this on a regular, but especially in the month of Ramadan. Especially in the month of Ramadan. Visiting the elderly and bringing them food and gifts. Yes, the same thing. And you say to your children, like on a Saturday or a Sunday, kids, we're going to go out today. We're going to go visit some sick Muslims, some elderly Muslims. We're going to bring them some food. We're going to bring them some gifts. And subhanAllah, take your children with you. Take your children with you. Let them see. Like Shaykh Uthaymeen, rahmatullahi alayhi, he mentioned in Riyadh al-Salihin, the benefits of visiting the sick. The benefits of visiting the sick. So you remember the blessing that Allah has upon you, that Allah has given you good health. And likewise, you make dua for the sick person, and the sick person remembers you and makes dua for you. So imagine you visit an elderly person, or you visit a sick person, and your child gives that person salams, and that person smiles and says, wow, I really appreciate you remembering me. And that person makes dua for your child. And then your child leaves and your child says, wow, it was an experience visiting that person. And the child begins to reflect about his or her good health. And subhanAllah, so this is something that we need to be mindful of, and raising our children, involving our children, because there are Muslims that do it. Feed the poor, visit the sick, visit the elderly, give charity. There are Muslims that do it, but at times we don't involve our children. Why? Because our children are so stuck on their devices. They're so addicted to their devices. My dear brothers and sisters, pull your children away from those devices. They have become slaves to their devices. They have literally become slaves to their devices. We have to free our children from slavery. SubhanAllah. We have to work diligently to free our children from slavery. One of the ways you do that is by bringing them along in your acts of worship. Take them to visit the sick. Take them to distribute food. Take them to give gifts, gather charity, and the likes. Now, the next one.